Yes, we're back again. Kristi and Katie, your crime time friends. Stories, justice, laughs collide. True Crime Squad, come join the ride. Grab the clues, let's take a stand. For victims' voices, hand in hand. True Crime Squad, it's time to shine. Season 6, your turn, your time. True Crime Squad, where justice meets hilarity.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the True Crime Squad. This is Katie Weaver. I'm here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Kristi Brower. How's it going?
Hello, hey everybody. It's going. You can hear in my voice that it's going. Definitely got a cold or something.
Yeah.
Started last night, right before the show last night. I started getting hoarse, and then I coughed in the night and didn't feel well. And anyway, got a little something brewing.
Man, 'tis the season, huh?
It is. Ugh. Yeah. Hate this time of year. Everybody's sick. Everybody's getting the flu or COVID or whatever other weird virus is running around.
For real. Oh, Jonna says howdy from her infusion center. Oh, well, yep.
Oh, yeah.
We can both so relate to that. Yep.
Sure can. Surely can.
I hope you guys are all well. It's warm here. Our snow's melting and you guys' snow's pretty well gone.
We've still got some, but not near as bad here in IF. Yeah.
But it's
really nice.
The muddiest of piggy hooves.
Oh, I bet it is.
Ugh, it's just soupy in my backyard, and the pigs go outside and they go lay against the fence and sun themselves, and then they come in and tromp through all this mud and just wander in the house with muddy hooves. You're like, oh no. So then they have to sleep out on the back porch for a while before they can come in the house, because, oh man. And if you think you're going to wipe those hooves off, you've got another thing coming, because...
Oh, I cannot imagine.
They won't allow
Those two are so stubborn and obstinate. You guys would die to see what it takes to try to make either of them do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's not happening.
You can move them with a snack. There's certain things. They'll do anything for food, but you can't really... Yeah, cleaning their hooves is something that's just an ongoing challenge. I thought about trying to put one of those things against the back door that's like that you just like put your boots in as you come in the house to scrub them off. They're just too big, and I think they would be terrified of it. Zig especially. There's no way in hell. It would ruin his life. He'd probably end up trapped outside until you moved it or something. Yeah, I don't think his anxiety could handle it.
Probably not. True Crime Cat Sandy is here joining us. She keeps popping her head up here and there.
Aww.
She's trying really hard to spill my coffee, on my computer.
Well, yeah.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Then you'd spend less time there. Well, True Crime Squad dog Luca is in here with me, but per normal, he has no interest in being on camera, so I won't ruin his life today and show you.
He's much too shy to be on camera, yes.
Much too shy. Saw a few more clips of the Lori Vallow thing that's happening on Dateline on Friday night. Oh dear
you
God,
guys.
You guys, she's doing it. She's going full Jesus.
She is. She's going full Jesus mode.
Yeah.
And this is going to be one for the ages, friends. One for the ages.
And poor Colby's on there too, just trying to, represent his poor siblings the best he can. But dear God. Whew.
Oh yeah.
We'll have a recap on Monday of that. But
we will.
We have plenty of true crime to get to today, so I think we're going to hit it. So, Kristi, I'm going to turn the mic over to you for a crime news update.
Yes. Well, I'm going to cover a local case. This is actually an Idaho case. It came out of Caldwell that I just learned about. It happened in 2023, but this is a case that's continued to go unsolved. And that is the very unfortunate death of Cesar Sandoval. This is Caesar.
Oh.
And this happened on October 1st of 2023. What happened is that police received a call about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
That there was a man laying in the road and that he appeared injured. Oh. And so when the first officer got there, he found Cesar. He was on his hands and knees, sort of on the side of the road, and he was bleeding heavily from his head. And he noted that there was brain matter present.
Oh dear.
He was trying to help Cesar, trying to get a wrap around his head and, assist him, trying to keep him safe until the paramedics got there, but he didn't seem to be very with it.
Mm-hmm.
The kids who called were coming down the road and coming home after the homecoming dance. And they see this man laying in the road. So they call the police, and
So
they
in a
think
vehicle.
something's...
The kids were in a vehicle.
Yeah, the kids were in a vehicle
Yeah.
and they see him. And so they call the police, and the police come, and while the officer is there, Cesar's cell phone rings. And so the officer takes it out of his pocket, doesn't get it out until it's done ringing, tries to call back a contact named Babe in the phone.
Okay.
He called that number 4 times. That number turns out to belong to Nancy Sandoval, who was Cesar's wife.
Okay.
But she never answered. And then a vehicle pulls up with a young woman in it, and she says, "Is that Cesar?" And the officer said, "Yeah, you better park and come talk to me. What's going on here?"
What is going on?
And turns out to be Cesar's daughter. She said, "My parents had a fight. This happens sometimes. My dad basically jumped out of a moving car because he didn't want to be in the car with his wife anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And said he was going to walk. And then he'd not come home. And so his daughter was out driving around looking for him."
Oh.
And the officer, I don't know. It was like, I don't know how, if someone has a head injury in which there is brain matter present, isn't immediately a red flag that this is a crime, that this is something that needs to be investigated. Because they gave Cesar's daughter his cell phone and said, "You better go get your mom and get to the hospital. They're taking him to the hospital."
So he gave her evidence?
Yeah, they gave
Or potential
her evidence.
Oh dear God.
Yeah.
Okay.
She still has this phone to this day, if you can imagine. So they get Cesar to the hospital, kind of ask around. Cesar and his wife had been at a party.
Mm-hmm.
There were some people said they weren't there for very long. Other people said they'd been there till right up before this incident occurred. Mm-hmm. And they, confirmed that they had been there.
Yeah.
They spoke briefly with Cesar's wife, who apparently got an attorney very quickly, and really didn't get much information at all. And after a few days in the hospital, Cesar passed away. And that is the last of the information that Cesar's family has received from the police. This is now, almost 18 months ago. So there was no investigation. They're told his sister Esperanza is actually who I chatted with a little bit today, who shared the police report with me. And she, according to one of the news articles about this case, checks in with the Canyon County Sheriff's Office once a week. And they just tell her they're working on it. But they've never had a single update on what happened to Cesar. And they've never taken even his phone, which we know, we are true crimers. That is the first thing they look for in a situation like this, is your phone. Because 100%. There's all kinds of information in that phone. At one point, one of the officers did look at it and just look at like the messages in it and some pictures in it that kind of confirmed the timeline. But then they gave it back to his daughter again, and she still has it. Like, there's so much more that could be in that phone, so as we well know.
Pulled all the data.
They never did, no. And Cesar's injury was either from a fall or from blunt force trauma. They did determine
so there was no autopsy.
As far as I can see, no. That there was just like a physical examination. And maybe there's an autopsy that hasn't been shared. But the determination was that the injury was from a fall or from a being hit, a blunt force trauma.
Well, right.
But
That blunt
so
force traumas tracks with the brain matter.
right. I don't think that a fall from a moving car on a city street, or I guess it was actually county, but we don't know how fast the car was going. We don't know if him falling out of the car is what caused that injury or if he was hit later.
Do we know what the
They
cause of
did
death on the
determine
death
that it
certificate
was
is?
not caused by, I don't know, do not
Okay,
know.
I'd be interested
But
to
they did
know.
determine that the injury
Yeah.
was not caused by being hit by a vehicle, because that was one question. Did
Yeah.
he get hit by a car? Um, it's never been really determined. The police say that it's still open, which is probably why we don't know for sure what the autopsy says or
Hmm.
what the death determination is. But Caesar's family feels abandoned by the
Yeah.
police and heartbroken that they've lost a beloved family member.
Yeah.
And they feel like, is there some racial injustice here? Is this because his family is Mexican American? I mean,
Yeah.
why not determine, if it was in fact, this is the thing that doesn't make sense to me. If it was accidental and it was the fall out of the car, wouldn't they have just determined that a long time ago?
Right. Why not just say that?
The case is supposedly still open. So I would guess that that is not, in fact, what they think happened, just based
Uh,
on my experience in true crime.
right.
That
Yeah.
if it was a simple answer, like this was an accidental death, an
Well,
accidental injury,
absolutely. And they like to wrap these
they'd
cases up
say
as
that.
fast as possible. So if there was an
Right.
easy answer, usually it's given.
There there is really no easy answer. And so the original officers were from Caldwell, the city of Caldwell, and then it became aware 10 hours into this case that it was actually a county case. And so then Canyon County
Okay, that was my question.
took it
Okay.
over. But both agencies they've put out statements that are just full of excuses. Like that, well, the original call was just for a man down in the street. So that's what we investigated. I'm like, that is not how it works. Okay,
What the
that is not.
fuck? That's not how that
What the
goes.
original call was for does not mean anything. It is the evidence. And the officer that initially responded, he did take a bunch of pictures of the scene and stuff. Like he kind of had some awareness that maybe he should be investigating
Right.
this. But
As
then
if
he
the
gave the
person who
phone
calls
back to the
911
family.
is in charge of determining the cause of death or what happened.
Right? We'd be in deep
That's the
shit if that were the case,
dumbest
right?
thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. So Caesar's family is very concerned that this is at risk of becoming a cold case.
Indeed.
They don't feel like they've not really received any updates from the police since the initial incident. And so when I saw that, I said, you know what, we're going to talk about it here on True Crime Squad. There are a lot of you Idahoans that watch and people from other states as well, but let's do what we can to put some pressure on the system that this needs a resolution,
Yeah.
because
Caesar's
it's
family,
tragic.
get an attorney.
Yeah,
I know
that's what
that's
I think too.
a challenge,
You need
but
an attorney.
truly, you need an attorney. Because while it's really easy to brush you off and ignore you, it's a little harder to ignore an attorney.
It is. And I mean, we've seen many, many cases like this in
Absolutely.
which getting an attorney, going to the press, putting the pressure on is what finally gets some action.
That shakes the tree. Yep.
Because being told every week we're working on it for 18
Hmm.
months, they're not working
No,
on it. They're
no,
not.
they're not.
And that's not right. You guys,
They're
you
not.
deserve justice. Caesar deserves justice. Caesar's children and family, they all deserve justice. Whatever
Absolutely.
happened here, y'all have the right to know what that was. And
Absolutely.
if
Wow.
and if this was in fact a murder, then someone should be held accountable for that. If this was
Yeah.
an accident, why can't they just tell you that? Like what? I don't understand it at all.
Right. This isn't that hard.
Um, yeah, it isn't. It isn't at all. And Caesar is a human being with a family and a
Yeah.
life and people who loved
And
him.
something terrible
He owned his
happened to
own
him.
business and he had kids.
Yeah.
Yes, and something terrible happened to him. And you all have the right to know what that was.
The public at large also has the right to feel safe. And if there are
Right,
people in that community that are willing to kill people,
right.
and then those deaths go unavenged, well, unavenged, unconsequenced,
Hmm.
that's not keeping the community at large as safe either.
No, it isn't. Not in the least.
Ooh,
Not
I
in the
hate
least.
this. Though,
So, yeah,
and it's unfortunately Canyon County and Caldwell PD they have a bad track record. They've had
they
a
do.
whole bunch of big internal challenges, firings. The last few years they've been a hot mess. So in
Yeah,
some
we've
ways, I'm
seen
not
other problems
surprised
with them
just
before.
because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Me too. This isn't right. This isn't right.
No.
So I thought, well, we'll do our part to put the pressure on. Let's hope
Yeah.
that others will as well. But
Absolutely.
definitely getting an attorney, speaking to the public,
Hmm.
through the media, really important. And there were things that came up through the media on the 1 year anniversary of Caesar's death, and so the
Hmm.
family's doing some great things. But
Yeah, they're
it is the
trying.
more pressure, and
Yeah.
the louder you yell, the more likely you are to get some attention on it.
Hmm.
So,
Some other thoughts would be a vigil at the sheriff's office.
well, that's a good
Sometimes that
idea.
gets some
There was one
attention.
on the, I believe there was a vigil on the 1 year anniversary of his
Okay.
death.
Okay.
But
And
yeah,
then,
things like vigils and public events
mhm.
definitely keep the pressure on.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Uh, Also, Lucy, if you guys end up putting up something that we can all sign, like a petition, be sure that you send
Hmm.
it over to us, and we'll
Yes,
share it
please
with our
do.
listeners.
We definitely will.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll
Anything
do
that
whatever
keeps it
we
on.
can.
The other thing is get to know your local representatives.
Hmm.
Not the ones that like go to DC, but just the ones that are, that just stay within the state. Get to know your
Yep.
local reps a little bit. Go visit them, call them. It's amazing what a local politician can do with stuff like this if they
It
give a
really
damn
is.
about it.
It really
So I
is.
would
Do
be talking
all of those
to
things.
all of your local reps. I'd talk to your mayor. I'd talk to your county commissioners. Anybody in local politics that you can get your hands on, talk to
Yep.
them. Tell them your
Yeah.
story. Ask them if they can help you figure out what's going on. Sometimes
Yeah.
that works.
Yeah. Because they can go to the sheriff and say, hey, we've been hearing from this family, and, they're your
Hmm.
constituents, they're our constituents, and they want some answers.
Hmm.
Definitely. So we'll keep an eye on this, and much love to all of you. And if you get updates,
Absolutely.
Esperanza, who sent me some things, if you get updates, please send them over to us so that we can update. We always update cases over time if there are any changes, and we
Yeah,
would be very happy to do that in this case as well.
100%. Yeah. Yes. And good luck to you guys. So
Yeah,
sorry.
absolutely. Lots of love to your family, because
Yeah.
that's just not right.
Not cool, but it's surprising how often it happens.
It is. It is, unfortunately. All right, Katie, I'm going to kick the mic back over to you for our next segment, which is our main case, and it is a Utah is not okay. Did you like that? That's a new little segment video I made.
I do like it. Yeah. And per normal, Utah is not okay. Uh,
Mm-mm.
and oh baby, have I got a case. Gonna introduce you to this feller here. This guy's name is Keaton. Oh, good lord. I do know his name.
Uh-oh.
My head is
Are
spinning.
you sure?
It's Keaton Tanner. Well, I've been all confused. It's Keaton Tanner, but when I wrote it up as Tanner Keaton, and why? Why two first names?
Whoops.
Keaton Tanner. Keaton Tanner has been a teacher, a history teacher at a, a grade school, or I'm sorry, a junior high in Pleasant Grove, Utah. Well, apparently, he has also been sexually assaulting a student. This started when she was 12 years old. She believed she was in a relationship. She had a secret boyfriend who her friends weren't allowed to know who he
Oh
was,
boy.
but they knew she had a boyfriend.
Oh,
And I
that's
want to be
scary.
super, super clear right this very minute that no, she didn't. She was 12 years old. She was being manipulated and she was being raped.
Yes.
And unfortunately, this went on for quite a while. So she had been a student that was spending a lot of time alone in this teacher's classroom. And the admin had actually told him,
Mm.
don't know what you're doing over here, pal, but you can't have her just hanging out in your classroom like that. That's not appropriate. Again, she was 12 to 13 when this all went down.
Mm.
He is 29 now, and this happened a couple of years ago.
Boy.
So this guy was barely out of school, barely.
Yeah.
Partly we know that because he served an LDS mission in Germany, which
Oh
means
boy.
there was 2 years right there. So literally, he was barely out of school and teaching,
Yeah.
and pretty much immediately started raping students. This student.
Good God.
So I don't know if you guys have seen this TikTok trend. There's this game, kind of a trend. It's kind of like Truth or Dare of our era, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it's we listen and we don't judge.
Yes.
My kids always say this to me and they want me to disclose something, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, you don't know everything about me, you spies? But,
Right.
but they were playing We Listen and We Don't Judge. And she admitted to a friend that her boyfriend is actually Mr. Tanner.
Oh no.
And the friend was rightfully horrified.
Yeah.
So, in the arrest affidavit, it's. I'm going to tell the story the best I can from what I can see. If I have anything wrong, someone, you're welcome to help me clear it up. But this is what it looks like from what I can see. She and the friend went to his house and confronted him. Here's the thing you got to know: the victim had been living in an apartment building in the same place he lives. So she'd seen him around
Oh.
at his house and then also at school.
Oh boy.
So she was pretty well exposed to this person, which unfortunately, I think probably made it easier for him to groom her and
For sure.
make her think that he was interested and that they were having a relationship. So
Oof.
Mr. Tanner, they confront him. They pull up in a car and confront him, and it's reported, of course, that they had been having sex. He had been raping her at his home, at his apartment. So when they pull up to talk to him, this friend is a baddie. I mean, oh my goodness. So they pull up and basically confront him. And he ends up getting in the back seat of the car and, well, offering them money to be quiet. Tells the victim to
Ooh.
just tell her friend that they were only kissed, that was all, that they just made out or something, but they didn't actually have sex. But the
What?
cat's already clear out of the bag there, Mr. Tanner. Clear out of the
Yeah.
bag. So he
Oh,
offers
what
them
a creep.
$500 to not say anything,
Oh my God.
but then only ponies up $50. So he's cheap and a rapist.
And just
So
pathetic. Like, come on, man.
it's so disgusting. So the friend, not only does she film this because this girl is a baddie, but she reads
Mm-hmm.
him for filth and tells him that you can't just bribe people like that. And you need to learn your lesson here and learn that you shouldn't be getting turned on by little girls.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah. I don't know who raised this girl, but whoever it was, rock on. Because this
Yeah.
kid she's got it
Did a
going
lot
on.
right.
And she just did something huge for her friend to get this out in the open. And for every
Yeah.
other kid that was going to come along that this fool was going to try this shit with.
Right.
So he said he has learned his lesson and that it's never happened with anyone else. Oh, so he just had the
Oh,
one
yes.
victim for a year and a
Your
half.
your word is
Okay, Keaton.
really worth nothing at this
Yeah.
point, buddy.
Super, super cool. So the police go to talk to the school district and go to the school to talk to them. And they're like, yeah, we know which student it is. Yep, We've already been telling him that she's not allowed to hang out in his classroom. Oh, so you were already witnessing an inappropriate relationship. Got it, got it. But they told him that she couldn't be hanging around in his classroom. And apparently, I'm not blaming the school district necessarily, or the school necessarily, but, they did notice something going on and they did say something. But they couldn't have
Did they
known that
say
he was
something to her parents, though?
right. I'm guessing no.
Because that's, or the police.
They just said something to him. Yeah.
That that doesn't count.
Maybe they just didn't go far enough. Yeah. Uh, yeah, pretty sad when the police come knocking and the school's like, oh yeah, we know who it is. Neat. Cool.
Yikes.
He told the police that he could tell she had a crush on him.
Gross.
Yeah,
No,
that
dude.
happens. That absolutely
You're a
happens.
pedophile.
It doesn't mean you get to have sex with them. I mean, come
Right.
on. Totally a pedophile. But get this. He asked the school district about 3 days after this conversation with the girls. He asked the school district for a sabbatical. Says he's going to go to Germany and get his master's degree.
Oh, great. He's leaving the country. Excellent.
Remember, he served his mission in Germany.
In Germany.
And apparently is known to go back to Germany quite frequently. So he was just going to get out of the country. Didn't make it before he got arrested. So the
Thank
prosecutor was
God.
like, yeah, we don't want him to have bail because we don't know what he's going to do. He was already trying to leave the country. So
Yeah.
as of now, he is not bailable. So the charges are tampering with a witness and rape of a child.
Good. Oh, I'm glad they've got him on tampering. That's excellent because
Yeah.
they should.
Mm-hmm.
All that bribery bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the way Utah does it, there's never a mugshot, but this is what we know.
Right.
Yep. So we're
Wow.
gonna keep an eye on this one. What an absolute douchebag.
Yeah.
He has messed up this kid for time immemorial.
Oh my
I'm so
God.
sad for her.
Yes.
I'm so proud of her friend for getting wild on this. This is exactly what needed to happen. And then
Yes,
going
it
to the
is.
police, which was their next step.
Smart kid.
Who knows how many more children he would have assaulted had he not been
Right.
stopped in a way
Or
like
that
this.
he has.
Yeah.
I mean, she may not be his first anyway.
Yeah. She might not understand for many years why she is such a hero, but she's a hero. She's a baddie.
Definitely. Definitely.
And so to everyone that this idiot has hurt, I am so sorry. Nobody deserved this.
No,
And
absolutely
Keaton
not.
Tanner, I hope jail sucks. I hope it
Yeah.
super sucks. I hope you're cold every day. I hope the food is the worst. I hope you're scared to death every minute.
Yeah.
Because you look pretty white bread to me, and I'm guessing that
Yeah, you
jail
do.
is scary as hell.
It is, but you
Also,
get what you
you're
get.
going to prison, bro. That was all on tape, that stuff you said. You are going to prison.
Wow.
Yep.
What a jackass.
So that's going on our watch list for sure. And Kristi, with that, I'm going to kick it back to you for some MMIW.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, there is a missing elder from the Lumi Nation in Bellingham, Washington. Her name is Bessalynn James, and she was last seen on January 21st in around Bellingham, Washington, on foot. Nobody knows where for sure she was going. There have been no confirmed sightings of her since then. And as is the case in these situations often, not much is being done. Whatcom County Sheriff and the FBI who are looking for her. Hopefully, fingers crossed they're actually looking, because we know there was a search for several days right after she went missing, like a ground search.
Sure.
That didn't turn up anything. Bessalynn is 64. She's 5'1". She was last seen wearing black pants, a black puffy jacket, and white sneakers on January 21st. She has the name Bess tattooed on her arm, and on her right arm she has some scarring. And
Mm.
that is scarily all we know, really. Except that on a news post, a news article that was posted to Facebook about this case, I discovered this post that was posted about a week ago. This is from T Bird. T Bird said it was yesterday about 5 p.m. at the Safeway on Martin and Sleater Kinney in Olympia, Washington. She saw who she believes to be Bessalynn James. She saw her in the store, went home, saw on Facebook that this woman is missing, and immediately went, I think that's the same woman. She said she called Thurston County Sheriff's Office and reported it last night after she saw the post. She said the officer that she spoke with, would give the information to Lumi PD. She said I was standing right behind her in line.
Wow.
Sorry, Sanders is sneezing. She also said that she went back to the Safeway and showed the photo to the clerk there and explained what was happening in case she returns. And she also, in another post here, said that she also made sure that it got reported to the FBI.
Wow.
So, badass T Bird, thank you for
Absolutely.
speaking up. We don't know for sure that this is Bessalynn James. Hopefully it is, and she's okay. But good for you for seeing something,
Right?
speaking up, seeing something, say something. I think it's really awesome that that she just saw it on the internet and was like, wait a minute, I just saw that lady, and actually did something about it, made sure that the FBI and the police know about it, and went back and showed her picture to the clerk at the store and said, look, this woman is missing. If she comes back in here again, you should call the police just to make sure that she's okay.
Absolutely. Wow, she did her due diligence times 10. Way to go.
She really did. She
That's
really did. So
exactly what
that
needs
is,
to happen.
it is. And that is all that I can find. There are quite a few articles about Bessalynn, and they're all the same blurb, just over and over again. That's just
Oh,
exactly what I just told you.
that's so
And
frustrating.
it is. It is. And of course, her family is scared to death and very worried about her and unclear on why she would, what, that she didn't, they're not aware of any reason that she would have just disappeared on purpose. So
I was just looking at the
please.
forecast around that date to see how cold is it in Bellingham, Washington in
Mm-hmm.
January. It's cold.
Oh,
20s,
yeah, I bet it
20s and
is.
30s.
Oof, 20s and 30s.
And she's 1
Damn.
foot.
Well, if you live in the Bellingham area or the Olympia area, please keep an eye out. This is Bessalynn James.
Yeah,
If you see her, please report to the police so that they can just check in with her and make sure that she's okay and let her family know. If in fact, that gal in Olympia was her.
right. Oh my gosh, how
So
terrifying for her
we'll
family. I
update
hope
this if we
she's
get more
okay.
information. MMIW cases are so frustrating because it's pretty much always like this. There's a missing
Yep.
poster, there's like a 2-paragraph article, and that's all you ever get. So I was very happy to get the update on somebody who thought they saw her in
Well,
the
and just like our
comments.
first case, 9 times
Oh,
out of 10, when you reach out to the family, they aren't
yeah,
hearing shit from the police. They don't
right.
have any more
Yeah,
answers than anybody else does. They just don't know. Very
exactly.
frustrating.
Yes, it is. So much love to Bessalynn James' family as well
Yeah,
as Caesar Sandoval's family. And I genuinely hope that both of these cases can be resolved to give family the information that they need as soon as possible.
absolutely. Yep,
Yes, and please share on
absolutely.
your social media. Always
Yes.
share the show, share their names,
Hmm.
especially if you live in the areas where these incidents occurred.
Yeah.
It's really important because I wonder, because I know some of you are from the Boise area that listen to
Hmm.
us. I wonder if any of you ever heard about Caesar Sandoval and
Yeah.
about his death. I'll bet you didn't,
I'll bet you
because
didn't
there's
too.
not much out there. Unfortunately, there's been a small amount of coverage and a very small amount of work done by the police.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, we'll do our part to help keep the pressure up and
Yes, we will.
yeah. As always, families of victims always our door is always open if you
Yes, it is.
have anything you want to send our way, We do a Wednesday night case update where cases that we've already presented we'll continue to talk about when there's more outcomes, or if there's anything we can share with our listeners that can help you. Always. Yeah.
Yep. Send us your stuff. We will share it.
Hmm. All right. Well, that's what we've got. So, oh, one other thing. It's not a whole story, so I wasn't going to do a whole segment on it, but you guys,
Oh.
a marijuana facility in Thailand burned down.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And it was a 3-story building. And it just blasted the whole area. And everybody was pretty high. And the interviews, and again, I can't even publish them because they were like on local news, so you can't, they're copyrighted, but go find that because the interviews, the press are giggling, the locals are giggling, the police are giggling,
the firefighters
are chortling. Yeah, everybody got pretty blitzed from that. One of the neighbors said, I feel like this should happen for us at least once a month.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Everybody gets high. Yeah. Hopefully, all drug tests were suspended for the following 30 days because you can't really help it.
Yeah. No, you can't help it if a pot factory burns down in your neighborhood.
Right, there is a song "'Cause I Got High." Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I've been giggling about that ever since, thinking that's actually funny as hell. Though I hope nobody was injured in all of that.
Yes.
But,
yeah.
At any rate, sometimes crime news can be funny, and this one
sure
absolutely killed me. So it's not even a crime, actually. It was a hey Kit Kat. It was actually a legally operating facility, but anyhow, there you go. That happened, and I'm dying.
It's pretty funny.
So we're going to be back tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Mountain for case updates. And then we'll be back on Thursday at 3 p.m. Mountain for another episode. And again, if you're a patron, pay attention to Patreon. There's 2 brand new episodes out.
Yes.
And they are awesome. So
they are humdingers, I will say. Yeah.
Particularly Kristi's episode of the cat cult is primo true crime.
It's pretty interesting entertainment, that is for sure.
And I know we'll all be glued to Dateline on Friday night watching the Lori Vallow disaster unfold, and then we'll talk about it on Monday.
We sure will.
That'll give you
and
the whole weekend
probably for years to come.
Aren't available, yeah.
Yeah, because it'll be available. Let's see, it's live on. So it's live on Dateline on regular TV on Friday night, and then it will be on Peacock the next day. Depending on however you watch it, if you watch it on live TV or if you watch after the fact. I was just reading today about, how to get it. That's how.
Yeah, because I'm going to be unavailable Friday night to watch it, so I might be the last one to the party, but I'll watch it before Monday for sure.
I'm going to be watching it Friday night. Can't wait.
You'll need your punching pillows. I can tell already.
Oh my God.
Hopefully a weed factory
in your
neighborhood burns down first.
Right. No, I'm like, I don't know if I should drink a glass of wine while I watch this or not, because it's already going to be crazy enough. So I am looking forward to it, though. I cannot imagine just the clips we've seen. She looks crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like she's got the crazy eyes going for sure.
Well, she's insisting that Chad's going to be exonerated, and so is she, because Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus said so, friends. Jesus told her. She's seen the future. And they were not in jail or prison.
Yep. So obviously Jesus is going to handle this like he was going to handle it the whole time.
I'll tell you what, Jesus has done a shit job of this because they've both been convicted. So what the hell is she talking about?
I don't know what to say to that. I don't know. So anyway, that's all. But we'll be back tomorrow. So go have a cookie. You deserve it. Take good care of yourselves. This has been yet another production of the True Crime Squad.
Bye, everybody.
Season 6 Yes, we're back again. Kristi and Katie, your crime time friends. Stories, justice, laughs collide. True Crime Squad, come join the ride. Grab the clues, let's take a stand. For victims' voices, hand in hand. True Crime Squad, it's time to shine. Season 6, your turn, your time. True Crime Squad, where justice meets hilarity.